Hi guys, I'm Erika Fernandez, Brooklyn girl living in Queens, even though I really don't identify with Brooklyn, but nonetheless, gotta have love for Brooklyn always. I fell in love with sports, you know, I can't remember the age, but I would definitely say it's an influence with, I wanna say probably my brother. He's a big Mets fan, transferred down his misery to me, unfortunately. And ever since then, I've taken up basketball. I'm a big Spurs fan living in New York City. Of course, we're existing, we're here, despite the whole drama with Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard. We're not gonna talk about that. And with football, I think with football, I fell in love with it definitely during high school. That's when everyone was talking about it. And definitely took a love for the Giants. I love royal blue, why not? It's also Mets blue. Gotta keep it, you know, gotta keep it connected somehow. And with soccer, I think I got into it in the 2010 World Cup. Definitely, I feel like this goes back into the comments recently with Hope Solo, that unfortunately there's, that she said that it's a rich man's sport. No, white man's sport. And I really thought about that twice, and I feel like a lot of parents really don't think about putting their kids in soccer first. It's mainly Little League Baseball, then it's probably basketball, then it's whenever the Olympics are around, you're involved with swimming. But I think her comments were a little bit out of line, and she's just, I feel like she's sometimes out here begging for attention. I think that it's not a disadvantage per se between Latino and Black kids. I think that there's probably just not an interest, because parents aren't really, a lot of parents, unless you grow up with the love of soccer, you don't really know too much about soccer. I feel like not even a lot of people in New York City even gone to NYCFC game, and they probably don't even know that New York City has a team, up that play in Yankee Stadium. So I think her comments, I don't think she has actual facts behind them. I feel like we see only soccer when it comes around the World Cup time. Everyone has World Cup fever. And she should have thought twice about that, especially when she was at the #sports conference. Like, that's a pretty big deal. And for her to just blatantly say those words, she should have, if anything, backed it up with facts. If you're gonna say something, be like, you know, but look at these numbers, I have these statistics. There's just no interest there. I'm actually really upset regarding the Kawhi Leonard situation because I'm not normally used to the Spurs being this much on TV unless they win a championship. So I don't like the fact that it's been drama for the past season and we barely even made the playoffs this season. So the fact that Kawhi has been in New York City and then all these rumors, I'm sure you get the Bleacher Report and ESPN updates like Kawhi and Pops talks and now. And in the past few days, it's been Lakers actively pursuing max contract, like don't tell me any of these little knickknacks until you actually, it's set in paper, set in stone, he's leaving the team. But I feel like Tony Parker definitely pushed that envelope and he was way out of line. I don't even care if he's been on the team longer, but Tony Parker hasn't even been that great in the past, what, 6-7 years. So it's just very upsetting because this is your teammate. Like we talk to this about kids. I mean, we talk to this to kids. Like, they should learn how to play in a team. They need to make sure that they're on the same page, that they just have to learn how to play together. And I think that that's something that's there, like some player development is missing. As a sports journalist, I think it's very much upsetting. You look into the press room and you can't avoid to see the fact, the lack of color. I may be on the light-skinned side, but I still can't even, I have nothing in common with them on that level. They're older white gentlemen who probably have been in this position for 30 years, if anything, probably my entire lifetime. I think it's not fair to see the fact that there's no representation in there. I was covering an event the other day at Yankee Stadium. That was my first time ever at Yankee Stadium. I was really, really excited. But when I got to the press gate, all I saw was nothing but white men. And then I happened to see my colleague, Black woman. That was the only thing in a swarm of white men. You can't even help but see like, whoa, there's no representation there. The only one I could think of right now is Jessica Mendoza, and that was actually my dream job, to be the first on Sunday Night Baseball, and then to see another Latina who's in there, and obviously now they have A-Rod, which even makes the dynamic a lot better, just probably exceeding the expectations. But I feel like it depends on the league. I think NBA figured it out. NFL, it's just continues to upset us as fans and reporters, but they at least have a little more representation. But MLB, they're too stuck in their conservative, sexist, and probably racist ways for us to even really enter the press room. Like, I can't tell you guys the number of times I've applied and I just continue to get denied. And meanwhile, NBA has just continued to open the doors. So what does that lead me to think? That they're just stuck in their ways and they don't want anyone else new? The only players, I mean, the only people that can actually have anything in common are the players. They're of Hispanic descent and obviously Afro-Latino descent as well. But other than that, there's just such a lack of representation, and it just makes you wonder, am I in the right field? I think it's really important to have sites like Black Sports Online and even a few independent sites that cater to boxing. They're also very independent and they're really insanely popular. If anything, they're probably just a little more popular than our usual go-to alerts. And they just give us a chance to be in the same space. I can't tell you the number of times I've been asked, oh, why is it not called the White Sports Online? Why does it have to go be called the Black Sports Online? It doesn't make any sense. Like, they clearly just don't get it. My boss, he wrote a big thesis. Basically, if you go to his About Me on the page, he basically explains to people why it's called Black Sports Online, and it's because there's no representation, there's no space for us. With him working with this site, I can't tell you the number of times I've gotten so many opportunities, and obviously my career isn't just going to stop here. If anything, it just continues to evolve. And I feel like in relation to that, these sites are necessary for us to continue to grow, because so what if we're journalism majors in college? But what about the opportunities? Like, we walked into rooms with ESPN's in the room, Bleacher Report's in the room, SB Nation, Complex. They're using our words, they're using our culture, the word lit. I can't tell you the word, how much I hate the word fam these days, son. No, I don't want to see that stuff because I know who's writing it. It's Sam from Kansas. It's not Franklin from the Bronx. No, I'm so sick of it. I'm very hopeful for women and minorities in sports journalism. I think NBA, like I mentioned before, they definitely figured it out. Taylor Rooks is doing so much good things with SNY, and if anything, she's such a good influence. Carrie Champion, another one. So I think that a few leagues are ahead of their time. MLB is probably still stuck in the 70s, and I'm surprised that they're still stuck that back, considering the fact that their players, they don't even appeal either to a black audience. So I feel like our representation matters, because we need a bigger audience, and the audience just keeps disappearing. We're Mets fans, we're Yankee fans, Red Sox fans, but we're not even watching the games anymore. So what's the point of being called fans?